My long-awaited book, Astrology Realized, is finally available and waiting for you at Amazon and other online retailers. Get one for you, your loved one, or as a gift. All part of your fabulous journey to understanding astrology. Enjoy. Hello, fabulous Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of November 2013, General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, in the middle of the month, we have a full moon in your sign. Now, normally you just get one a year, and it tends to denote a significant time. It usually marks a time of honesty, significant honesty with yourself as to where you are, the reality of your perceptions, the reality of what's brought you to this moment, and that in turn can lend itself to a change. And usually the change is characterized by an understanding of what has served its purpose. Full moons represent closure, they represent fruition, they represent culmination. So it's sort of the peak, what is meant to happen, what needed to happen, comes out and it happens and it's done. That's what full moons generally represent, and when it happens in your sign, it's very significant because it is a matter very close to the heart, very, very close to identity, and usually speaks to some aspect of your relationship with others as well. And I'll talk more about that in the love video. I promise you there's a lot to say in the love video. But what I find really interesting about this particular full moon, as significant as it is for you. Now, I'm about to get a little bit technical, so I apologize to those of you who are not astrologers or students of astrology, but it'll go by really fast. But I just want to mention what is actually happening with this moon. The moon, the last major aspect the moon makes before being full, happens a few hours before the full moon. And that is a harmonious conversation with Jupiter, which does suggest there's a feeling of hope, there's a feeling of belief, there is a knowing, especially deep on an energetic level, that everything will be okay, that you're going to be all right. And there is a connection to a vision of sorts, a future of sorts as well. Then we have the full moon. And immediately after the full moon, the moon goes what we call void, of course, which means the moon makes no other major aspects to another celestial body, another major planet, until it moves into the next sign. And once the moon moves into the next sign, a few hours after the full moon, the first major conversation that moon has is with Neptune. Okay, so there's all the technical stuff, we can get it out of the way. What that all means, you put that together, and what that means, especially considering the void, of course, and then the first major aspect having to do with Neptune does suggest that the conversation that begins, that happens on a level of heart, on a level of spirit, it doesn't look like it translates into action very immediately. And that's largely because there is a feeling that you're not really sure what action it is that you're supposed to take. And if you do take an action, there is some sort of, whether you want to call it doubt, whether you want to call it a lack of energetic consistency, but it's almost as if the energies can be a little flooded, if you will. It can be that there's a lot of emotion, but a lot of conflicting emotion as well. There's belief, which is great. There's hope, and that's your strength. And that's what you want to hold on to. And you want to hold on to that part of you that knows that you're going to be okay. You're going to be better than okay. And the understandings that you're having right now are really good. And they're going to allow you to be more loving and be more wise. And they're going to allow you to be more effective in the world as well, to manifest more dreams as well. But the fact that at the immediacy, you may not necessarily know where to go with that is something that you also need to trust. It really is okay if you don't immediately have the answers as to what it is that's supposed to happen or where it is that you're supposed to go with this understanding and with this information. And it's very likely that if you do take some sort of immediate steps, immediate actions, the outcomes are likely to be a little bit all over the place. Because you add to all of this, you're going to have Jupiter sort of standing still in the sky, very very soon or in the general vicinity of going retrograde. You'll have Neptune standing still in the sky very soon or in the vicinity of going direct after months of being retrograde. It gives these energies even more potency. It makes their symbolism even more relevant to you. So while there is this energy there of hope and belief, there is also an energy of confusion, of elation, of deflation as well. There is an energy there that has to do with not seeing things necessarily very clearly. And if you take action from that place, now, of course, action is good, but don't be attached to the outcome. And that's ultimately what the higher lesson is here. Have your understandings, take action from a place of faith, and at the same time know that the outcome of those actions are ultimately not up to you. The outcome has to be surrendered. And if you exercise as little attachment as possible to how other people might react or how one of your actions might lead to a certain response, then you're going to find not only a greater sense of calm and inner peace within you, but you're also going to find a deeper sense of understanding of just what it is that this full moon is meant to teach you. Because a big part of the lesson that this full moon does have for you is about grounding your faith in something that is more yours, something that is more authentic, and not putting a sense of peace in other people's hands, and not putting a sense of peace in specific outcomes. Whatever it is that you desire, absolutely you can have it. I do believe that that is one of the most special things about being a human being, is that we can work on our own behalf and move our lives in a positive direction, and we can have a dream and pursue it and realize it as well. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we shut off listening. That's another really big understanding for you now, because ultimately the more you listen, the more you pay attention to life's responses, the more you'll be able to refine your course. And if you can do that, then you'll find yourself hitting a stride. It may not come immediately. It may come after a couple of days, notable days in the middle of the month when you're feeling a little scattered, a little unsure, a little bit on water, if you will. But it will come. When you are feeling that feeling of being on water, when you are feeling that you're on a raft and it's kind of going in all directions, find that place of calm within you, and it comes when you're not attached to any outcomes. And from there, you'll be able to start to see how things are actually moving forward and how you actually are experiencing some truly magical events. If you expect magic to manifest in a specific way, then that's when you're going to make it harder on yourself. But if you can be open and if you can have faith that really good things are transpiring for you, you are going to find so much evidence for that, an avalanche of evidence for that building as the month progresses.